Good morning student. This is our second video which is related to development. This is the first chapter of economics, class 10. Now we will discuss about how to compare different countries. In this world there are a number of countries. Some of the countries are considered as developed countries and some are known as underdeveloped countries. So the countries which lies in Europe, that's why it is known as European countries, such as France, UK, Germany, Spain, Netherlands and so on. These countries are considered as developed countries, and the countries which lies in Asian continents, so these countries are known as Asian countries, such as Bangladesh, Pakistan, Myanmar, and these countries are considered as underdeveloped countries. So developed and underdeveloped means we have already discussed in the first video which situation creates the developed and which situation does not create the developed, and that is known as underdeveloped. On the basis of income, you can also say that is the developed, and on the basis of income you can say underdeveloped. So on the basis of income, countries can be divided into two parts, that is the rich country and the poor countries. So income is the most important factors. The World Bank, according to the World Bank, the average income is taken to determine which country is rich and which country is poor. The countries where the average income is $12,236 and above, that is known as developed countries, and this amount, that is the 12,236, is annually, not the monthly. And poor countries means here the average income is $1,005 or less. If we think about our own country, that is the India will come under the middle income countries, because here annual income is $1,840. So 1,840 is more than 1,005. That's why sometimes we say our country is a developing country. Okay, so here I want to discuss that how we compare two different countries. So it is based on the per capita income or on the basis of average income. So per capita income means income of one person of a country. So how we can calculate the per capita income? So per capita income is equal to total income of the country divided by total population. So as we know that every person participate during production process, so their income divided by, even though those who are not employed anywhere or those who are not participating in the production process, those people will also be taken. So our formula is per capita income of a country is equal to total income divided by total population. Here I have taken only the 5 citizens of two countries. There are two countries, country A and country B, and their monthly income is already taken. Here I told you annually, and here I am going to discuss monthly basis. So first citizen's income is 9,500, second one 10,500, third one 9,800, fourth one 10,000, fifth one 10,200. So if we add the income of all 5 citizens, the total income becomes 50,000. In case of country B, here the income of 4 citizens is the same, 500, 500, 500, 500. but one citizen's income is 48,000. That's why again the total income of country B is also 50,000. So average income of both A and B, that is the 10,000, because 50,000 divided by 5 citizens and again 50,000 divided by 5 citizens. So average income of both the country is 10,000. But there is a one problem. Here we find that most of the citizens are poor and only one are the rich. But here the most of the citizens' salary is near about the same. It means there is no fluctuations between rich and poor. So if we consider that which country is the best country, according to this data, I think A is the best country, because here very less number of fluctuations we get. Only here that is the 10,500 and the lowest is 9,500. So difference is only 1,000. So we can say this country is more suitable and it is more developed in compared to country B. Now come income and other criteria. In the first video, I explained that most of the individual does not think about the income. They also thinks the different things such as respect, social securities, equal treatment, freedom, etc. So here we find that in country B, there is a vast gap between the rich and poor. So I told you that country B is not suitable. So on that basis, I want to explain income and other criteria is also important. Here I have taken the example from your book and that your table. So income and other criteria means there are 3 states. One is the Haryana, next one is the Kerala, next one is Bihar. The per capita income is 1,80,174 in Haryana, 1,63,475 in Kerala, and 34,409 only in Bihar in a year, according to the data of 2018 and 19. So here we find that the per capita income of Haryana is maximum and the lowest income present in Bihar, that is only 34,409. Now come to on the basis of income, I have taken 3 main components. One is the infant mortality rate, which is calculated on per thousands. Literacy rate, it is in the form of percentage, and the literacy rate is taken according to the data of 2011. Net attendance ratio means how many students are ready to continue their study up to the secondary level. That's why that students will come under the age group of 14 to 15 years. Here we find that Haryana, the infant mortality rate is 30, whereas literacy rate is 82% and net attendance ratio is 61. Even though the per capita of Haryana is 1,80,174, however, the infant mortality rate is 30. 30 means out of 1,000 newly born baby are unable to celebrate their first birthday. So the infant mortality rate is very high. In respect of Kerala, even though the per capita income of Kerala is only 1,63,475. The literacy rate of Kerala is 94% and net attendance ratio is 83%. So in this way we can say that Kerala is more developed in compared to Haryana, even though the per capita income of Kerala is low. If we compare the Bihar, we find that the infant mortality rate is very high, that is 35, but in the ratio we find that the infant mortality rate in Bihar is very low, even though the per capita income is only 34,409. The literacy rate is also very poor, that is the 62%, and the net attendance ratio is 43. So it indicates that not only the per capita income will determine that the which country is best. To be the best country, a number of factors such as infant mortality rate, literacy rate and net attendance ratio is important. Now, why the Kerala is more developed in respect to Haryana? So, if we think that the nutrient foods that is available in Kerala is more in compared to Haryana, we can say the literacy rate is very high, so the people knows how to nourish their children in a better way. Next, the PDS system, public distribution system, is also well developed, and the people in the Kerala we find only 10 infant mortality rate, which indicates the better facilities such as literacy, health, public distribution system. So due to that we can say not only the per capita income is a good measurement, but except the per capita income, other factors are also essential for the development. Is it clear? Okay. On the basis of these data we can say, and that is already written in the book, that money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live. So what it explains? It explains that money has power to buy the goods. It has power to provide a luxurious life. We can survive a better life, but better life not only depends on money, it also depends on other factors. Today I want to take the present situation. Nowadays a number of people has huge amount of money, but due to the corona disease they are unable to sustain their life. So what it indicates that the better facilities, the better precautions, self-reliance and the self-preservation is also important to continue a better life. If the whole area's pollution increases, so our money has no power to buy a pollution-free air, in that case the money is not so important, and that's why it is important that if we want to sustain a better life, it means we have to develop the different areas such as educational, health facilities, society's development, transportation and other things, so that we can live a better life.